Hello, hello, hello. So I have really been wanting to do this video because it hits so close to home for me, and it is already November 14th, so I am running out of time to do this one. I wanted to discuss the top 3 tips for HR professionals or people in the event planning business to create a more inclusive environment for those who are suffering in silence. Now, there are many ways that somebody can be suffering in silence, as we all know, but today's video is specifically for people who are suffering with alcohol use disorder. So 1 in 6 Americans suffer with alcohol use disorder. I'm one of those people. So let's say you are having a holiday party, and out of the 100 employees that you have there, at least 6 of them may be suffering in silence. Obviously, it could be less, it could be more. While that doesn't seem like a whole lot and a reason to change the way that you do things, let's take into consideration that 95,000 Americans each year die as a result of alcoholism. So it can be a life or death situation. And so it's really important to just put a couple of things in place to help kind of create more of a healthy environment for somebody suffering in silence. Now, first things first, I will say I have to raise my hand and admit that I was that person that centered every single event that I had around alcohol. I did not know that I had a problem. It was very obvious that I had a problem looking back, but I did not know that I did. So I was myself creating environments that weren't healthy. So none of these videos that I ever put out is to make you feel bad about yourself or to shame anybody. It's just me sharing my own experience, not only as a leader, but also as an alcoholic in recovery. So I am coming up on about 4 years sober, and my first year getting sober was so painful and difficult, as it is for many people. And for many years before that first year, I was trying to secretly get sober. I was suffering in silence, and most of the times that I would lose my streak of not drinking would be at an event that was centered around alcohol. Most of the time, it was my own event where I would have an open bar, and I promised myself I would not drink that night, but every time I ended up drinking. So here are some tips that I believe don't cost much of anything, and it's just a couple of things that could make a really huge difference in somebody's life. And you may never know about it, but these are the seeds that we plant that we may never get to see bloom, but it makes a very big difference for people like me. So for starters, I would say to have a mocktail bar. So I never, ever will suggest to not have alcohol at an event because there are so many people who can partake responsibly. So just having that option of a mocktail bar and having that on the menu, having a place for somebody who wants to have a pretty drink or wants to hold something in their hand and not feel like their only option is water or Diet Coke, that can be really helpful. So mocktail bar, number 1. Number 2, having some kind of icebreaker or activity or something that somebody can do with their hands. Maybe it's a hot chocolate bar where you can go and create your own hot chocolate and put in all the fixings like marshmallows and a cinnamon stick. That actually gives somebody something to do. A lot of events that I've been to, the first couple of hours is just a bunch of people standing at the bar ordering drinks and talking loudly. I mean, sometimes I'm like, can a girl get a chicken wing or something? So just understanding that the people, even people who don't have an alcohol issue, some people just simply choose not to drink. It can be a very boring start to an event when everybody is focused on alcohol and alcohol only, and you're just waiting for the fun to begin, and you're like, meh. And again, that can be a really hard thing for somebody who's suffering and trying not to drink. That can be very, very, very tempting. And then the last thing I would say is to not center the entire event around alcohol. So maybe not, I did this too. Again, I raise my hand and admit that I did this. All my events were around happy hour or wine Wednesday or, you know, any type of event that is, I would just say that if you, and I say this with all due respect, because again, I was that person. If you have to really promote alcohol as the center of your event to get your employees to show up, or guests to show up, then that might not be too authentic, right? And so maybe making the event centered around something else. Again, there will be alcohol there for the people who drink when they get there, but making the focus on the event something a little more meaningful, I think could make a really big difference. So again, this video is not to make anyone feel bad about themselves, and this is not meant to shame anybody, because again, I was there, I did it, I was that person. Every event that I had was centered around alcohol. I worshiped that stuff. So it is now my purpose and mission to do these LinkedIn videos to not only help those who are suffering in silence, but help make a real impact and a difference by allowing HR professionals or event planners to just have a different, look through things through a different lens. And you just never know how many people you will be helping simply by changing up a couple of things. That's all I got. And since the holidays are a very tough time for people who are struggling, I will put in the comments, I host a recovery meeting every Tuesday morning at 7 a.m. A bunch of us have come together for the past 2 years, every single Tuesday at 7 a.m. If you are watching this video and you are struggling or suffering in silence, I invite you to join. You can keep your video off. You don't even have to use your real name, and you can just listen in. So I will put that info in the comments for those of you who need it. And as always, thank you for watching this all the way through. I will talk to you guys the next time I have some kind of idea for a video. Adios!